All right, everyone, it looks like people are still joining. We're just going to give everyone a few seconds to join. All right, so I do want to thank everybody for joining our monthly Wednesday webinar here at LiveRez. Today is going to be super exciting. We do have Jen Wilson with GuestView Guide, and she is going to tell us how to turn your local connections into revenue streams. Great information for us to know here in the vacation rental industry. I do want to remind everybody that down at the bottom of your screen on this webinar, you will see the two chat bubbles for the Q&A. If you all have any questions as Jen is doing her presentation, please feel free to put all of your questions. No question is too small, no question is too big. Put them there, and at the end of our presentation, we will address your questions. So without further ado, I will introduce Jen Wilson with GuestView Guide, and I will hand her the floor.
Thank you so much, Katrina, and good afternoon. Thank you so much, LiveRez, for allowing us the opportunity to present this topic today on how to turn your local connections into revenue streams, leveraging business partnerships for your vacation rental business. Next slide. All right, so a little bit about me. My name is Jen Wilson. I am with GuestView Guide. We have a digital concierge display for vacation rental properties, and we do work alongside LiveRez. A little bit about me before we begin. I have been in the hospitality industry for over 20 years, with most of my background being in hotel sales. I have worked with major organizations, including Walt Disney World, Caesars Entertainment, and Hyatt Hotels and Resorts. For the past 3 years, I shifted into working with digital signage, specifically within the hospitality industry, my focus being on overall guest experience. In this webinar, we are going to be covering the importance of building and establishing local business connections, generating additional revenue streams through partnerships, and using these partnerships to secure strong connections within the community. And then finally, we will share a proven story, success story of a current customer and how they were able to use these partnerships to increase their revenue and overall customer satisfaction. All right. So industry challenges. As we all know, there are a lot of issues going on right now in the industry. So quick question, I know that everyone is kind of behind their computers, but think about what are all the current issues that are most impacting your business right now? There is a lot. There is a lot going on coming out of COVID. No doubt we are all currently impacted by the growing uncertainty, not only within this industry, but really everywhere, everything going on right now. Many of the challenges that we continue to see involve labor shortage issues, inflation, local laws and regulations, growing competition, supply chain issues, recession fears, unrealistic guest expectations, list goes on and on and on, unfortunately. These are widespread issues. They're going to continue to be challenges that we are all faced with. But think of some creative ways of what we can do to kind of overcome some of these challenges. Obviously, we can't necessarily come to a overall solution about labor shortage, for instance, but there's other ways that we can focus on our business and differentiate ourselves, from some of the competition that's out there. So one of the ways is by partnering with local businesses within your area. So there are many benefits to partnering with local businesses in your community. The first of which is that it supports the local economy. Obviously, we want to keep our money where we are located. According to Airbnb, 70% of travelers want to explore specific neighborhoods, and 91% want to live like a local when they are traveling to your property. So what easier way to do this than partner with local businesses? Certainly, again, we take pride in the communities we're in, and we enjoy having that opportunity to support our fellow neighbors. Additionally, it generates more revenue for both parties, which is key when looking for new and innovative ways to add more money for your business. It increases referrals as both parties want to ensure a positive relationship with each other and share new leads for additional business opportunities. This can also provide differentiation from your competitors, as not everyone is taking advantage of these partnerships. And lastly, this enhances the overall guest experience, which again, that's at the end of the day, what's most important. So how do you do this? It seems like it's a kind of daunting task, but there are several ways that you can kind of go about doing this. So first of all, research is key. You want to find businesses that are in line with the needs of your guests. It's 100% like that is the most important. You'll want to ask yourself who's staying in your property, what their needs are going to be while they're there. So for instance, if you have a lot of families that visit your properties, finding businesses that cater to their demographics, maybe working with a baby equipment rental company or a local tour company focused on family excursions. Or if you have a lot of couples, maybe finding partners that can provide your guests with something unique, like chef services or massage packages. Next, in reaching out and introducing yourself, you want to demonstrate how that business partnership can specifically benefit that merchant. How many guests come through your properties every month, every year, and how can you send more business to those merchants? Lastly, you want to make sure that what you are providing and offering is going to be of value to them. For instance, showcasing their specials, promotions, discounts to your guests. If you know that maybe the local pizza place is having an amazing happy hour on Wednesday night, why not share that? 55% of guests said that because they saved money at an Airbnb, it allowed them to be able to spend more on goods and services. And in fact, 43% have said that their spending happened right in the neighborhood that they were staying in. So there's several different ways that you can partner with local businesses. There is a lot on here. We're not going to go through all of them in super duper detail, but we have many examples right here. But think of the creative ways on how you might work together with these local businesses. So we actually have a customer that showcases their local artwork on the walls of the property. So not only does it give local flair to the home, it also advertises the work of local artisans and the option to have guests purchase artwork that they can take home with them as well. Other ideas are offering recommendations for outings or highlighting local products. It's especially great if your area is known for something unique. So maybe if your properties are in the Northeast, offering local made maple syrup would be an option that guests could look to bring back as a keepsake from their stay. Other ideas are to create a guidebook with local recommendations, telling your guests where the best places to eat locally and things to do in the area. Helping to make your guests feel more at home by providing them with an expert view on your location is incredibly important. Other ideas are to provide maybe mid-stay cleanings with local vendors or even grocery delivery services. Here in Orlando, where I live, we have many local businesses that partner with vacation rentals to provide different amenities for their guests. Whether it's a local car service that can take families to theme parks, providing local treats delivered right to their door, or even booking a fairy godmother to transform kids into princesses and superheroes, which is a very popular one here in Orlando. They're all different ways that you can partner with those local merchants. And again, here are just several different other things that you can do. So there's many different ways of partnering with local businesses. As I mentioned, with this presentation, we're going to focus on the ad partnership segment a little bit further. However, there are other ways to work with these merchants as well. One idea is to start a referral program where you can give local businesses commissions for recommending your properties and vice versa. Additionally, offering them special promotions like coupons or discounts that your guests can use in their business, but also having those businesses promote your properties. If anyone's coming to the area and looking for recommendations, those businesses can promote you as well. So think about a local restaurant who might be working with someone for a family reunion or a baby shower. Having that merchant provide you as a referral for their family and friends on where to stay while in town can give you additional revenue opportunities. And lastly, through partnerships, you're able to connect with more businesses, which again increases your overall network and opportunity to attract even more guests. So let's dive a little bit deeper into creating ad partnerships and what exactly does this mean? So first of all, you're going to want to work together with your local merchants to create a compelling offer. What is it that you want to get out of the relationship? And the same for your local business partner. From there, you'll need to determine how to promote these partnerships within your property. Having a way to showcase that merchant in your property to your guests, whether it's in a guest book, a flyer, or even on a digital display. It's important to ensure that you know how well these partnerships are doing for not only your guests, but for the merchants that you are working with as well. Providing value is key to understanding how you can both work hand in hand to ensure that this is a win-win relationship for everyone. And lastly, collaborating on a marketing campaign. For instance, if peak season is coming up, what is the best way to get these messages out in a compelling and fun way for your guests? And how often and when should you be promoting these merchants as well? So as I mentioned earlier in the presentation, I am with GuestView Guide. I'm sure that many of you have heard of us by now, but if not, we are a digital concierge display that hangs up on the wall for property rentals. When the display is not being used, it will run as a slideshow, and you can create advertisements specifically for your guests. Property managers can also promote their own services and then work with local merchants to sell their services as well. There's also a section where you can add local recommendations, which is another area that you can feature your business partners. And certainly, we have many people I know out there that have their own paper guest books. You can always have, paper flyers if you don't have a digital concierge display. But this is just another way that you can work with these local merchants and promote this advertising. So I'll go into a little bit more detail just as far as how we kind of do it on our end. And then at the end, we'll certainly open up for questions if you have any questions or ideas, anything like that when it comes to working with local businesses. So with the GuestView Guide, property managers have the freedom to create their own advertisements. This is just one example of what an ad might look like for a service on the GuestView Guide display. This is actually from one of our customers in Savannah who has partnered with Old Trolley Tours. And they sell trolley tours tickets directly to guests right from the actual property itself. So a guest could actually go on to the GuestView Guide and they can request the service on the display. And then they can actually order the trolley tickets through their cell phone. So this is actually one way that the property manager can work directly with this local merchant. At the end, I believe the local merchant or the property manager received a commission for the amount of tickets that were sold. But there's a lot of opportunities and different ways that you can actually do this. There's a lot of flexibility. So you can choose how you kind of want to develop your own advertisement campaign, how you want to work with these local merchants as far as whether it's a commission or they pay you an advertising fee. So it's very customizable, and you can change it however you think would be best for your business. So again, just to give you a little bit more idea on how the advertisements work on the GuestView guide, is that these ads run and rotate in a slideshow feature. Property managers will choose how many advertisements would be shown in a sequence, as well as the duration of how long those ads are played. This display, for purposes of GuestView guide, is hung in a high traffic area in the home, so that all guests can see and interact with it. And I would definitely recommend that if you are showcasing local businesses, to have it in a prime location in the property. And this is just so the guests can see, they can interact with it. Businesses selling services can be featured on an ad, but then it can also be shown in the services section, so there's more visibility for the offer. Guests can click to get more information about the featured business, and property managers can also provide their own personalized recommendations. For instance, go to the Big Easy and be sure to get their fried green tomatoes. You can also promote offers, activities, and even offering promo codes for your guests. And lastly, guests can request this information, and they can always take that along with them when they go out. So definitely want to make sure that you're personalizing it, making recommendations that you feel would be best for your guests. So with GuestView guide, there's also a very big importance when it comes to analyzing the information that you get from these advertisements. So with GuestView guide, you can also analyze and optimize your ads, which gives you a better understanding of how they're actually being run and the overall engagement. This is helpful when seeking out merchants to partner with, as it gives them analytics to understand the value that they're getting by partnering with your business. It also can show what engagement looks like from reservation to reservation, which further gives you insight on what your guests look for during their stay. This also helps your business partners to truly see the value that they're getting from working with you and your properties. So again, when it comes to the ad campaign, you have the opportunity to customize it however you'd like. So for instance, you can decide if you want to require businesses to commit to a certain time period, or provide them with a trial period when first getting started. Also think about how much you might want to charge per display. So what's great about this is that you can kind of play around and test what might work best for you and your properties. Think about who you're looking to partner with and what kind of guests stay in your property are also things that you want to consider as well. Our team, personally, we also help to create a marketing piece that allows you to reach out to the local businesses easy, so that you can simply give them the information and craft an advertising campaign that works best for you. And so, like, for instance, you can choose the time frame if you wanted to do a 3-month commitment or longer, and then decide how much you wanted to charge per display, or if you want to have a set price, if you wanted to do a commission. So there's a lot of different ways that you can monetize this, just based on what's best for your business. So before we conclude, I want to share how the advertisement partnership program has been successful for one of our current customers. So Family Time Vacation Rentals and Sister Vacation Rentals has a total of 170 managed properties based in Utah and Oregon. And then one of the ways that they have used GuestView Guide is working with local realtors in their area. And I'll share with you exactly kind of what that means for them. So one of the ways that they have used GuestView Guide is working with local realtors in their area. They estimate around 80% of their new managed properties come from realtor recommendations. In exchange, Family Time has opted to leverage custom ads on their GuestView guides to help realtors attract buyers. Each real estate ad Family Time has shared has been viewed over 8,000 times across their GuestView Guide digital guidebooks throughout their properties. This has helped Family Time strengthen their relationship with local realtors and ultimately help them secure new homes to manage, as the realtors then recommend Family Time to manage their property rentals. So this has not only created significant income for Family Time, but it gives realtors additional exposure to their properties that are for sale. We've had many of our customers find the ad partnership program to be a benefit in generating incremental revenue for their properties, as well as strengthening their relationships with their local businesses, which is definitely a true win-win in this instance. So again, there's a lot of things going on in the industry, a lot of challenges that we're currently facing. But certainly if you have that opportunity to be able to work with your local merchants, to work with them for advertising whether it's advertising campaigns or referral programs, or any way that you can best partner with your local businesses, definitely gives you an opportunity not only to get additional incremental revenue for your business, but it also helps your business grow overall, especially in the local community, because as we know, networking and relationship building in this industry is just so incredibly important. And with that, I wanted to kind of open it up for questions and get everyone's thoughts as far as, if this is something that you have done before, or creative things that you have done within your local market that you might be able to share that have been beneficial for you, or any other questions.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's also, I do want to kind of point out that we do have the raise hand feature there at the bottom of the screen. If anyone does want to share any of their stories, I can take you off of mute and you can share with the class. Jen's given us some really good information, and I can't stress, I know within our LiveRez system, I always preach how when you're getting that local area guide built out on your dynamic website, and you need pictures of local restaurants or local boutiques that you're trying to feature, try to make those connections. It helps in the long run. It's a very symbiotic thing. So I am so on board with this, Jen. I appreciate it till I'm blue in the face.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. We did have a couple requests for slides of your presentation. So I just let everybody know. I've got those email addresses and we'll send those out to everyone. Also, please, if you missed it at the beginning, the Q&A button at the bottom, if you have any questions, we have Jen, the expert here, who can answer those for us. Now, with if we have any new people, Jen, I do have a question, since I do work with onboarding for our new partners within LiveRez. So if we have a partner who wants to get with GuestView Guide to help with getting these local relationships established and getting that on there, what would they need to do to get onboarded with you all?
Yeah, absolutely. So if you want to reach out to me directly, so we are actually in the process. So as I mentioned, I'm based in the Orlando market. And one of the things that we're actually working on here in Orlando is coming up with a more robust program, and actually working with local merchants kind of on, some vacation rental partners' behalf, just to kind of start that relationship with them and develop that program. So we're kind of testing it currently in Orlando. We're looking to expand that. And we're always looking for partners in doing so. And, we're happy to work with you. If you're a current customer of ours already, certainly feel free to reach out. We do have, as I mentioned, we have a marketing piece that we can customize for you, that you can then provide for, to your local merchants, that kind of personalizes it, shares more information about who you are, and then what the GuestView Guide can do for their business. And then certainly if you're not a customer, please reach out and would love to share more details about GuestView Guide, and then also how we can help you as well with the local merchants and building those relationships too.
That's great. Now, I do believe on the LiveRez side, and I am just double checking to make sure that I don't speak out of place, but I believe it is as simple as go in. It is. You just go for the LiveRez side of it to your integration marketplace right there at your main toolbar on your LiveRez system. And when you go there on the right-hand side, 3 from the bottom, you will see GuestView Guide. You just want to click on that and click connect there, and that will give you the API key. And that's all you have to do on our side for the connection. We try to keep it simple.
Absolutely. We do too.
All right. I appreciate it. And Joni, I've got you added to the list for those slides. And it doesn't look like we have any questions, but we do have a lot of people who want these slides, Jen. So I'll get that list over to you, and we'll just have you send that out for everybody.
Absolutely.
Yep. Oh, we've got more. We've got more coming in.
Perfect.
So Lisa is asking, she did get on late, and she was missing information on the pricing.
Yeah. So the GuestView Guide is a leased product. So it is a 1-year subscription, and it's $39.99 plus tax per display per month. One-time shipping charge of $25 to get that out to you. We do have bulk pricing, so feel free to reach out to me directly. I can get you that additional information as well. And that's it. There's no additional hardware, software costs, or anything like that. It's a super, super easy. We want to make it as easy as possible for you vacation rental property managers. We certainly understand how complex your day-to-day operations are and everything. So it's just that one monthly subscription every month. And then we work with you. We will provide you with our customer success team and set you up with an onboarding call, make sure that you are set for success. We want to make sure that you have all the right tools in place to make sure that you're successful with the GuestView Guide. And my contact information is on the display on the screen right here. But certainly if you want to reach out, feel free to reach out. If you have any additional questions, or if you'd like to schedule a demo, certainly feel free to reach out and we'd be happy to help you out.
Awesome. And there was a follow-up question, Jen. Can they test the connection with just 2 to 3 properties to begin with?
Absolutely. So there is no set minimum as far as how many displays you would like. We have properties that have just one display. They may have just one property, and we have other property management companies that have several hundred. So there is no set minimum. You can certainly try out one. Unfortunately, we don't have a testing. So you would just buy the one subscription and try it out. But we actually have seen that a lot of times people will get one, they'll test it out. They see how amazing it is in their properties and how well they've gotten that feedback from their guests, and they end up getting, more and more for their additional properties. But you're welcome to try it out, at first just in one property.
And I kind of want to add to that. That is a good opportunity if you are testing the product with our Live Score guest survey within LiveRez. There is one that you can make that is just a review. So for those properties, if you wanted to create a review for your guests to leave you a review on how well that helped them, that would help you as a deciding factor of, do I want to put these in more properties? I'm getting this feedback from my guests. It was super helpful. They did live like a local. That is a huge thing that Jen mentioned, is people they travel places and they want to get the authentic, real experience. So that is something to keep in mind, that you can put that survey out there for them as well.
Absolutely. And we haven't even scratched the surface on this webinar as far as all the different things you can do with them. So certainly if you do have the interest, just let me know, and I can take time and show you all of what is, kind of offered as far as what's included on the GuestView Guide.
All right. And it doesn't look like we have any more questions. This was a great turnout, and I really do appreciate everybody for taking the time out of your day and joining us as we went over, how you can turn those connections into revenue, because that is something I think that we can all agree on this webinar is we all love revenue. It is a shared language.
Yes.
So yes, and I do want to invite everyone, our next webinar will be with NextPack. I know they've made a lot of changes. So I want you all to keep that in mind. That'll be on April 26th that we will be hosting that. Jen, is there any closing remarks or anything else that you want to add before we wrap it up?
No, I think you kind of summarized it well. Certainly revenue is at the end of the day, revenue is what's most important for businesses. So but certainly, I hope that we were able to provide some great insight for everyone today as far as, different ideas and things that you can implement within your own properties. Certainly, it gave a lot of different ideas. But if you have any questions after this webinar, if you want some additional information, need some clarification on anything that was discussed today, certainly feel free to reach out. And again, thank you, Katrina. Thank you, LiveRez, for having us today. We really appreciate it. And we very much value the partnership that we have with you. So thank you very much.
Absolutely. And thank you so much for joining us and being our partner. And again, just there's Jennifer's email address, jennifer.wilson@sharpusa.com if you have any questions. And we'll be getting those slides out to everyone who has requested them here shortly. All right. Well, everyone have a great rest of your Wednesday, and we'll see you on the 26th.
Sounds
Bye.
good. Bye.